the rules are. Okay, let's go.
There we are. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to HoGaLeSh's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, know your nation, know yourself. So tonight, this evening, I think this is quite an important show to discuss. Obviously, we have the ladies here. I want to thank Lady G, Lena down under, and of course Sheila for joining us. And I don't think it's hyperbole to say that this is a very, very grave moment in American history and American politics.
Yeah.
I think we have all been rocked about what has happened in the last couple of days, let alone the last couple of weeks. This is extraordinary. These are extraordinary times, and I've myself have been struggling to even find the language. I had to go on several.
I know.
Yeah, to process what is going on. I've been looking at a lot of independent media as well as obviously legacy media and stuff like that. So really, this show, your questions are in. We're going to try and get through as many as we can. But just to give you a little, I've made a note of just some of the things that I've observed, and then we're just going to dive into your questions, and then we're all going to kind of talk this out and try and make sense of it all. But so of course we've had the DC plane crash, yeah, which was a travesty blamed on DEI hires.
Yes.
Utter bullshit. We then had the Philadelphia plane crash, which has only just happened. Tragically, 6 people lost their lives in that, and of course our thoughts and prayers and everything is going out to the people who have lost loved ones with what happened, and the ice skating community as well. We have Elon has locked out several senior members of the government out of their computers. I can't remember which departments, but this is just one of the things. We've had mass sackings and potential firings of FBI agents that were involved in prosecuting the January 6th persons. As reported, this was reported on the Rachel Maddow show and everywhere else, along with judges. We've had senior US officials to exit after a rift with Musk's allies over the payment system at the Treasury. We've got several questions on that. We've got the 25% tariffs announced against Canada and Mexico, which are due to still apparently go ahead, which could be absolutely devastating. 10% on China, and apparently China have retaliated with a 75% tariff retaliation against all of American goods. And I only found out today that Inspector General Phyllis K. Fong at the US Department of Agriculture, who was sworn in on December 2nd, 2002, was physically removed, manhandled from her office for refusing to basically be fired because she said this is against federal law. Yeah. And what is then discovered is that she did a bit of a prosecution against Elon Musk's Neuralink. Right. So we see a pattern evolving here. So before we begin, ladies, I'll go round in succession, but Lena, what are your thoughts on what you're seeing unfold? And then I'll ask Sheila and then Lady G.
Yeah, well, I think it's now a critical balance. This is not a time to turn away, right? Even though things are overwhelming in every way, so cut down your exposure to things, but it's really important to stay across key issues and do what you can for the resistance. What rocks your boat? What are you good at? How can you offer your skills to the resistance? Yeah. Whether that's going on a school board you didn't want to go on, or at every level, please be part of the resistance.
Absolutely. Sheila, what are your thoughts on as you've seen things unfolding in the last few weeks?
They're just trying to shock and awe. There's a book about it. Shock and awe, and it keeps us confused. It keeps us all up in our heads. It keeps us all up in our feelings, and it keeps everybody from concentrating on what the big picture is. I don't know exactly what that big picture is about this time, but if we can just keep our communities down below the shock and awe, we can develop a spiritual battlefield for this whole thing if we can just keep us down and out of that shock and awe energy. That's my recommendation at this time. I highly, what Lena just said too, just stay focused, stay out of it, and come down. And the one last thing, and I know we're at a small matter, is that Trump just literally said while he's signing the tariffs, he goes, "It's going to get really bad. I hope everybody understands." That was what he said.
Wow. Lady G, what are your thoughts on what you've been seeing transpiring recently and some of those things I mentioned there?
Oh, it's just insane. He wants only loyalists in there. He's trying to set up an autocracy, and they're just going to keep putting out so much toxicity that people are going to rebel. Eventually, they're going to rebel. And so, it's just highlighting how toxic that they are. And so once these things come in, even the Magatonians are going to say this is a bridge too far.
Indeed.
Yeah. And we just hold the line, keep holding the line. You can hate the things they're doing. Don't hate the people, but hate the things that are happening.
Yes. Good advice. Well, we've got lots of people piling in. Thank you so much for joining us. The chat is, of course, absolutely on fire. We'll get into some questions. These ones I just want to do a readout because I've just to read out, but I think we already know what the answers, but this is nonetheless interesting. So Maureen Pemberton, I don't know if it was tongue in cheek, but anyway, this is what they said. Hello, Fabulous Four, much love to you. My question, as crazy as it may sound, would the UK become the 51st state of the USA under the Trump administration, considering Musk has interfered in British politics, asking the British to have a re-election, etc., him donating large sums to the Reform Party? It would be bye-bye to the NHS, workers' rights, decent food quality, etc., etc. Apparently, I've seen comments on YouTube where some British people want Trump as a prime minister. Given this, his threatening of Greenland and Canada, nothing seems shocking anymore. What I would say to that is no. Obviously, and you know already, Maureen, the UK will not become the 51st state of America because obviously we're not even geographically close. But the most important thing to understand is that Elon has effectively dropped Reform because guess what? Even Reform gave him pushback. So even the guy who owns Reform, Richard Tice, I think he says he needs to stop interfering in elections. He might be a billionaire, but he's got no business doing that. And the second old frog face, what's his name? Farage, yeah. When he suggested that a certain prisoner be released from a UK jail, he said, no, I don't think so. We're not going to be doing that. And Elon dropped him immediately, said he couldn't be prime minister, and cut all funding. So that love affair is kind of over, I would say, on that one. And when you even get Reform giving pushback, that shows you just how off the radar,
the charts.
Elon is. And then a quick one I just wanted to read out. And this came in the Seeker of the Light and Peace. Can you tell me if Putin is behind the 2 plane crashes by scrambling radar like he's done in the Ukraine? And what my quick answer to that would be is that it seems the main issues are to do with lack of staffing, isn't it? And
absolutely. The controller was working 2 booths, having to run between 2 desks.
Yeah, well, what I heard on all of these, there were ones talking the one that crashed, the helicopter. They were too high, and the tower said, "Did you see the plane?" And they were looking at a different plane.
Yes, exactly. The controller working the 2 desks still got it right and said, "You must go behind this plane."
Yeah, and they were looking at a different plane and thought they had it, but they were too high. And then the other one that crashed, there was a pilot that went through, and he said the way that it went down, that you couldn't even push it, that it had to do with the airflow. Something with the airflow wasn't right, and it stalled. They had a stall, and it just went down. So no, it wasn't.
No, not Putin.
It wasn't
Yeah.
Putin. They were just horrible accidents that happened close together. Okay.
Gosh, isn't it? God, what times that we're in. All right, so this is the first question for us to tackle. The chat is wild, absolutely on fire. I'll do my thank yous soon for the donations. So this is coming from Blue Sphinx. Slightly longer here, but I'll just read it out. Hogarth, and I think they're also saying the ladies, last year you repeated several times that an inordinate number of countries would be holding elections within a 12-month period. Yeah, that was the case 2 months ago, but it was pretty much half the world. Some of those have obviously already happened, and it seems to be leaking out that Elon Musk has been involved in several of them, and they quote here: Georgia Republic in October, Romanian election postponed, US elections, feels mighty fishy, upcoming German election as well, which is happening in February, I think February 23rd, and probably more countries. So the question here is, has Musk been involved in more election tampering around the world than we may have initially thought?
Well, I think we can maybe tweak that, because the answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
He's blatantly been interfering across the board. There's no mystery to that.
Yeah.
The question is more maybe, will anyone pull him up? Because France and Germany are considering charging him with foreign election interference.
Indeed. And just to finish off that little bit, it said, to what extent has he influenced the right-wing movement on this planet? So if we tweak that, so there is a question coming up about his accountability, but I mean, maybe that can be brought forward. So how do you think we should phrase it then, ladies?
So
You choose.
I have a thought. I know that I have been doing readings for quite some time about how Trump is not the most powerful person, even though a lot of people think he's a puppet. And I have been reading for quite some time that there's at least 3 above him. What didn't dawn on me until we just recently is Elon, who is the richest man in the world, is already at the top of everybody. And it just makes me think, and like, I think that even though our cards have been telling every one of us that there's somebody else involved.
Oh yeah.
Elon may have been the person that we have been missed or didn't name for quite some time. So my question is Elon Musk the most powerful person in all of this manipulation?
Okay, let's ask.
Musk.
Is Elon the mastermind behind all of this stuff that we're seeing playing out in elections and the movement to the right? How about that? Is he the mastermind?
Exactly. And if he has a partner, maybe our cards will tell us.
Oh. I can go if you like, Hoga.
Go for it, Lena.
Well, I've got 6 cards, 4 are majors. So this is a really critical question. It starts with the Tower. We should not be surprised. The stated goal is chaos, right? I think this represents Trump, the Yeti, in the sense now he's done his job of getting them over the line. They've literally hung him up to dry. I think what's happening here with that they're younger than Trump. So I think this is Musk, social media, massively powerful. But who's driving the chariot? And I think it's actually, sorry, that was the wrong card. Strategically, what comes to mind for me, Peter Thiel and 3. Interesting, Sheila, you said 3. There's 3 others above him. I agree with that. And it's impacting the world. So there's more, because Elon's so unpredictable too. I'd put my money on Peter Thiel.
Indeed. Sheila, what cards do you have? And then Lady G.
Well, I too, my first card up was the Tower. And my first card up was the Tower, but he's also hurting a lot. And like, he's taking control over people. And here's the thing about that. Here's the 3 again. Here's the 3. He's taking control. Here's the thing about Elon Musk. He is unpredictable, but he's also vicious because he has money to be vicious. So therefore, he can be unpredictable all he wants. He's like in Goldmember, you know, the crazy guy. He was funny, he was this, that, and the other, but he was vicious at the same time. Because I have been getting this card at first stage, you know, the card that says achieving first stage, for quite some time over this Trump issue and stuff like that. It is the oh, what is it called? My mind just left. All of my words just left. The making the deal with the devil. The first stage, making the deal with the devil, because I have also the Page of Swords, which is this is deceitful person or spy. I also get Wheel of Fortune, that money hungry. The reason why they're doing it is world domination. He's really having a hard time at achieving his world domination, because he's coming up against this, and I hope he comes up against more of this, but this is like the light at the end of the tunnel that people are fighting back. It's not as easy as he thought. His money would buy off as many as people as possible. It's not becoming that easy anymore. So that's what I got.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, the reading is about the lid is off, and we're wanting to go forward and find out more information about the step that they're trying to put into place. The energy is about the world, and again, bringing in this new world order, new monetary system, and it's being done by the dark of night. There are things being shared when it comes to putting in losses and the pain cycle for people. The challenge is that what's hidden, there are 3 of them that are involved in this, in instigating this dark government and wanting to control world power, domination, monetary, all the things that are happening. The outcome is juggling this. We're doing more investigations so that we can have a victory and overcome what they are trying to do. But they're doing their best for world domination.
Yeah, my goodness. Okay, so with my cards that are in, because it was asking about you know, is Elon the Svengali behind a lot of this, or, you know, who are these powers behind? So now this is interesting, because we've got here the 9 of Wands, and this is a card of feeling embattled. But this is also a card. It's a very determined card. It's also a very shrewd card, and it doesn't give up. So in a way, for me, this is talking about the attitude of Elon, and those that are kind of in a way hell-bent and determined, to engage in a kind of a conflict, subversion, war, because this is also the battle-hardy person. If we look here in the obstacle position, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Knight of Pentacles can be known as the loyal, steady knight, but the shadow interpretation of this card can also be the mercenary. Yeah. So it's almost like you've got Trump is the figurehead, but these mercenaries are like these kind of like the tech bro billionaires. Do you know what I mean? They've got this determination to them. Yeah. And what's in their targets here? Democracy. We know that the King of Cups often can be symbolic of democracy. So it's almost like the mercenaries are gathering around democracy, trying to subvert things. We see here we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Oh, I've just noticed. Look, it's reversed.
Oh,
I didn't notice. It came out reversed. Because I was like, why is the demon on the top? And I've just realized it's come out reversed. So when it's the right way up, we know that we're in times of, you know, fate and destiny, and things are changing, but luck is more likely. But when the demon's on the top, it means the more malevolent forces are at work. I've literally just noticed that the card is upside down. So they have what? Malevolent intentions for democracy. And really, when we look at it, and we've got some questions on the Treasury, and in many ways, this card preempts it and what we've been talking about. It's about the money. In this case, you see here, the merchant is giving to the poor, but really, it's almost like the money is going the other way. They're wanting to extract. They're wanting to extract from everyone. My goodness. Just extraordinary times. Anything to add to that, ladies, before we move on to the next question?
Nope.
no.
All right. So let's move on to the next one. So this is coming from Angelic Alchemy. Thanks so much for your question. Wow, and there's almost 200 of you, 2,000 of you here. Sorry, almost getting there.
And one troll.
Oh, we have a troll, do we?
I did see that.
Dan Steely, who said, doing tarot in 2024. Ha ha, honey, it's 2025.
I know, they don't
Moving
realize.
on.
And don't give them the oxygen either. Even don't even read out their name, because they're wanting that thirst. You know what I mean? They're just misguided. You know, let you go with love. You know, it's not going to work here. Angelic Alchemy says, greetings from Crazy Town, USA. I heard someone mention that a certain Russian president is having financial issues, which is why Leon, they put here AKA Starboy, so Musky, with the Yeti's help, is looking into messing with the US Social Security system. Would you be able to look into if Leon will be successful in getting his hands on the social security money? Very relevant question, isn't it?
Well, there's an update. He did get access to it.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So I don't know. I mean, he did get access to it. What we really want to know is, what does he want to do with it?
Yeah.
Because he did get we lost the top guy. He actually got access. We just got the report that he did get access to all of it.
All right. Yeah, that's a very good point. So in that case, then, what are Elon's and his cronies, and by extension Trump, what are their intentions for the US Treasury? Let's ask that. What's the intentions for the US Treasury?
Well, shall I go, Hoax?
Go for it.
Okay. Yes, this is part of their plan from the beginning, because they just see it as this pile of money that they could be playing with, right? They don't see it as people's lives. This is not news. But yes, there's a problem here because it represents security for whatever, probably 2/3 of Americans. This is absolutely quintessentially a bridge too far. The problem is not so much the Yeti or even Elon, it's the foolishness of the GOP ignoring everything to this point and ignoring what is happening because there are not 3 independent arms of government. They are all in bed with each other, and this is going to be very foolish, too soft a word, think of something else beginning with F, for the GOP to go forward. It will wound the GOP, right, because suddenly it hits home in every red state. Strength going forward, I think this is people speaking up in significant numbers if they can hear the information. They might not even have heard about this. You know, they live in their echo chambers. So it's really important it's out there. But this is the strength of response. Yeah. Okay. That's me.
Sheila, what do you have? Yeah.
I don't even want to give it, to be honest with you.
Say what you see. Say what you see.
I see. I know a lot of people like Sheila's so gloom and doom, but I'm a tarot reader that will literally tell you what I see. So, well, all of us are. Never mind. I'm getting too deep. So I literally got the King of Swords made a deal with Elon. So the King of Swords, Trump, made a deal with Elon. He was going to give him something. Once I become king, you know, the head of that, I'm going to give you something. And Trump knew that he had the tower moment. He knew that whatever he promised Elon, that it was going to rip apart the country, because Trump is trying to hide himself in the little castle, trying to get away. Like he's going to, I bet you anything in the next couple of days, well, maybe in the next 3 or 4 weeks after these tariffs, this, that, and the other, and Elon grabbing it, Trump is going to, oh, that's all Elon.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew that. So what happened was whatever he promised Elon, so Elon only has billions. I think Elon has an insatiable appetite, and he wants trillions. He wants to be the one that has the first person to have trillions. I think he has a crazy and insatiable appetite for that, because the pain and the loss and the tower moment come out again with these two. These right here really give me some concern of how much Trump has literally, I've always said this, Trump was going to sell off the America to the highest bidder, and I think Elon Musk has been the highest bidder. But there's again around the circle about it, there's going to be a lot of fighting. They're going to come across a whole bunch of resistance that they are not expecting. They are not they're not expecting the fight. And that's the only thing that our saving grace at this point in time. But there is a lot that I think this is a deal, his deal. He had to pay him back for whatever it was.
Indeed. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, to Musky Musk from the Noir, he's the Knight of the Hunter, so he's digging for something, absolutely. The fly in the ointment and the fly on the wall is key, and at the heart of all of this, it's about protecting these arguments of the difficulty this is bringing in. This is going to be a heavy karmic thing with them too, and it's also that ring is also a real entrenched, how do I want to say it? Like the regular ring, a partnership, an entrenched partnership going on. So the message is what's under the surface of this and where it's going, which is not only the control of the monetary thing, but he's looking for information there that is going to cause this difficulty, the cross to bear. But the outcome is eating away at control when it comes to Trumpenstein.
Wow. Interesting.
Wow. Very interesting. And I just want to do some quick thank yous. So we've got Kia. Thank you so much for your donation. Oh yeah, I don't have quite enough time to read everything out. Tara Garcia, thank you so much. Barbara, my goodness, that's incredibly generous. Thank you so much. Lisa, thank you so much for your donation. And some people here, goal is to steal. Jill says goal is to steal money from the US Treasury. Absolutely. Thank you, Teresa, as well. And people are saying here, Musk, Thiel, and Putin. Will Musk be stopped from interfering in our government? I suppose that would be the next one there. And then Foggy is saying Trump is live on some, he's saying in India. Do you mean Indiana channel maybe?
No, I think she means India.
India.
Oh, okay, India. Okay. And it says live, all the Trumpsters are praising his starting wars. So, you know, there's all of this craziness. And then Tinkerbell says, will the court of the world step in? And what else is there? Susie's here, thank you. And just this quick one, Project 25 is getting greedy and looking for world domination. So I think we should definitely do a read on Project 2025, don't you reckon, after this? All right, so what do I have with my cards? So this is Elon and the Treasury and all of the dark cabal around. Look at this. First card out. It's the moon. Yeah, the moon.
Yeah.
We know, particularly when you're reading politics and stuff like that, this is not a great card to come up. Now, the moon, it has many connotations and it has many meanings. But if we go with some of the obvious ones and then the more subtle ones, so nothing is clear by moonlight. So I think this is, again, talking about the shock and the awe. But let's not forget as well, literally, the moon can literally mean lunacy, lunatics. And I think it's literally that. These people, they are lunatics. They're malignant, narcissistic nutbags. Yeah, this is what is going on at the heart of government. This is Trump. This is Elon. You know, that whole dark cabal. They're rabid. Yeah, it's like the werewolf has come out. If we look here, we have the world in the obstacle position, but literally the whole world is looking on with horror. Yeah, but the world has to respond because we're in this extremely unusual scenario where America, an ally, has become hostile. I mean, it's slapped 25%.
Yes, I can't remember an equivalent situation, you know, in my lifetime.
It's extraordinary. And I was thinking about history, and I was thinking about the Declaration of Independence and when America became an independent country almost 250 years ago. You know, July 4th, 1776. And I was thinking, what is going on at that time? And I think, wasn't it the Mad King that was in charge of the UK at that time? It was one of the Georges. We had three Georges.
I think it was George III, wasn't it?
Yeah. And either way, for me, I just feel like, is this a kind of reverse energy where the Mad King is now in America as opposed to the UK? That was just something that was going through my mind.
Yeah.
So the whole world is looking on at this, and the world has to respond to what America is doing. Mexico has no choice. It has to respond. Canada has to respond. China has to respond. He's saying the EU is next. The EU will have to respond. So if we look at the circumstances here, we get the High Priestess, which we know is a card of deep machinations. Elon and Project 25 have no good intentions at all. They want to inveigle themselves in every single system that they can. And it's only now emerging what that stuff is. Imagine what's going to come out in the next few weeks. I know, it's just, we're not even 2 weeks in. This is just astonishing.
Yeah.
If we look here, though, there might be some pushback. There might be some fight back. Here, this is obviously them up there with their fingers in the computers. But look, here we see the battle. Yeah, we see the pushback. I think as it becomes increasingly clear to people what's going on, there will be more pushback. So I see that as quite positive. Here, though, as the outcome card, we do have the Knight of Pentacles. So again, it's all about the money for these people. But again, it's that more that shadow interpretation, the mercenaries. They are doing this. They want to steal. They're thieves.
Yes.
They want to steal because the budget that they've now got into is apparently $6 trillion. That's pretty much all of the purse strings of America. And they're now in there fiddling. So I think they not only do they want to enrich themselves, it's this kind of robber baron, Gilded Age type psychology. I think they're crazy. Yeah, I think they're absolutely crazy. Anything to add to that, ladies?
Well, yes, in the comments, I'm sorry I haven't seen this confirmed, but Mona Rogers, who's a regular viewer, Duck Larange decided to do airstrikes on Somalia today.
Your joke. Oh, my God.
It's like sowing chaos, so you can't stop reacting.
Shock and awe.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
We just have to go on because it's...
Yeah, we just have to go on to the next one. We're going to do question 4. And then an important question has come in about the Great Awakening that I've been talking about. And I think we should spend a bit of time on that because it's manifesting already. All right, question number 4. This is coming from Nick Minks. What would be the outcome if all government staff went on strike? Would the card show the dictatorship caving? If everyone walks out at the same time, they can't replace them. Sounds extreme, but it would push more sides to come together to put a stop to the despicable show. Honestly, they seem to think this is a large version of The Apprentice, and with it barely being 2 weeks, where the hell does this all end? So let's read on that.
Great question.
The possibility of everyone just going on strike.
Yeah, for a day. Strikes.
Oh my God.
Because hopefully this is one of the upsides of this chaos and horror is people are going to be reacting and joining with each other in different combinations that they wouldn't have dreamt of 6 weeks ago, a month ago.
People really have to come together. Like we're talking, this is serious danger to the country.
And the world.
And the world, yeah.
Here's one thing. Keep on reminding everybody while everybody is shuffling and stuff, just a point in the up direction is that Littler back in the day did not have communication levels as we do now. So they, you know what I mean? So because Schlittler got away with whatever he did in camps far, far away from people, so he was able to lie to them. Nowadays, they would not be able to get away with that easily. So whatever is happening now, I think the effect is going to be shortened and not long. If that helps anybody understand that, because the communications be drones, I mean, they would not be able to keep their atrocities quiet for long.
Indeed.
But equally, they have a lot of air power that people just live in those echo chambers.
That is true.
So it's really hard to reach people in a different way. You know?
It is.
Yeah.
It's sort of...
Facebook took away his guardrails. I have been posting some of the craziest shit on Facebook and not getting any pushback at all, because what's his face put I was like, oh, you want to own Facebook, this, that, and the other? I'm like, I'm going to utilize this to my advantage. And I have been pushing as much as I can out into the ether of all directions. I have created a bot that brings up all statistics, everything. Anyways, onward.
Who's ready to read?
I can. Okay. quite a few majors again. So if people want to preserve, with this star card, if people want to preserve what we recognise as democracy, I used to be much more critical of democracy. Now let's hold on to those guardrails. They have to work together and find ongoing strategies of cooperation and peaceful protests with this temperance. This is just another stanza, another episode, because these are going to keep getting rolled out, threatening, this is the death card in the Italian deck, threatening everyone if people don't act, right? And this is the old-fashioned letter card, but I think what it means in modern terms is communicate with each other. If you're a federal worker or you're an aviation person or whatever, communicate, and stand firm. So in answer to the question, it didn't go there. It was more like the strategy of how to get there.
Yeah.
So
Sheila,
important.
yeah, it is indeed. Sheila, what do you have?
You repeat the question one more time so that I know.
So basically, it's to do with what if everyone stopped work at the same time? Basically, everyone in the government was just down tools, like we're not.
What we used to call a general strike.
Yeah, general strike. Yeah.
Yeah. I literally got pretending, fakeness, and I was really confused about like, why am I getting pretending and fakeness again? And I got the delusional card again. So it's like fakeness and pretending. When we're asking the question if everybody's striked, it's almost like they want the high emotions. They're hoping for an ending. The Page of Cups here talks about the creative vision and messages. And then I got the Six of Pentacles, which is that sharing that wealth and stuff like that. What was weird about this whole question in my reading is it's like if everybody stopped working, they would be like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm like kindness. I'm sorry. We were just faking it. We were just pretending and try to get everybody back under a pretense of a lie. That's what the feeling that it came, like the illusion, like they would come back and go, oh, like what is that one saying where it says, oh, jinx, or you know what I mean? They're like, oh, we're not gonna. So that's what would happen. That's what they would do to get everybody back. Does that make any sense?
They would send troops. I don't know that it could go either way.
I know. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. I'm so sorry if it doesn't, but that's kind of like what would happen. What would the GOP, what would they do? They would like gaslighting, like, oh, we were just joking. We were just That's what they would tell us.
Interesting.
Anyway, or maybe I know Lady G always has a good message.
So Lady G, what do you have?
Well, our overarching thing is beware, my lovely. Because it's about control when it comes to their craziness that they're doing, and that's key. Who's going to have control? It would take the totality to bring this obstruction that we're feeling from the pain of all of this nonsense. We would have to come together and again show that dark mindset about what they're juggling. It would be suppressing because we want the message of justice to come through, and it would be waking up some more about their craftiness when it comes to those like Musk and Trump and those that want to, just surround themselves with billionaires and etc. So it would be a wake-up call.
Indeed. All right, so the cards that I have, so I just want to say thank you to everyone joining us live right now. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share, and it helps this channel grow so we can keep bringing content to you. And I just want to say thank you for all of your support and your comments and your donations. At the moment, we have 2,563 of you.
Wow, guys.
Much appreciated that you're joining us here on this time and seeing us debate this. So, okay, the cards that we have, like, could everyone go on strike? Well, the card that I get mainly to answer that question is the Queen of Cups. So what this says to me is there are federal employees that are contemplating this, but quite understandably, given the current administration, this shock and awe, these extremes and forcible sackings, and basically the FBI effectively being gutted out, intimidated and raided, any plans that they are making are likely to be secret at this stage. So what this suggests to me is that maybe private memos between each others. I would strongly suspect there might be some WhatsApp groups created, because of course those conversations can be encrypted, along with Telegram and stuff like that as well. So it gives me a little bit hope. This suggests that maybe there's a quiet resistance, but it's not obvious yet. If we look here, I'll get another reversal. We got the Three of Pentacles. Now, the Three of Pentacles, of course, is talking about working together on a shared plan, but this time is in the reverse. Now, that could normally be corruption, etc., and all that stuff, which is obviously happening at the top of government. But again, what this says to me is, in combination with the Queen, this is saying the plans are hidden. Yeah, they're underneath. I think this is a quiet thing that they're going to have to kind of work out. But they're going to have to act quickly before the FBI is gutted as well, because that is the arm of the law, which obviously this dictatorship wants to use against the people and federal workers. We can see here tremendous anguish in almost all departments of the government. Tremendous anguish. People being forcibly retired, intimidated, offered these severance deals, which are kind of a pile of BS. However, there is a ray of hope here, because we do have the Queen of Wands. Now, this is the energy of coming together, bringing everyone together in conversation, debate, dialogue. So I think there is a groundswell there, probably going to be led by prominent leaders that are female, will probably be spearheading this, using their intuition. And then when we look at the outcome card, we get the Two of Pentacles, which is about trying to juggle things on stormy seas. So they're going to have to try and push back, but in a background and an environment that is very volatile, very stormy, with basically a president and Elon that are effectively out of control and consider themselves above the law. So I think whether or not how coordinated it will be, there is definitely quiet chats going on about it, but I think it's underground at this stage. But I would say they have to act quickly before time runs out. Lena?
Yeah, I had a download in support of what Sheila was saying, because me, Lena, were thinking, oh, they never apologise, thought he was stupid. No, I think what it was, the GOP, how are they going to spin this stuff to their people? They're going to have to say, oh, he was only joking. Oh, he won't really go any further. Oh, it's only temporary, the free. I just heard really clearly the GOP spinning that. But you can only do that for so long.
Well, I don't know. They're resilient in that deafening.
Yeah. I mean, these are extraordinary times, aren't they? They're extraordinary times. Really is. Are we ready for the next question?
Yes.
All right. So this is coming from Nene Dubs. That's a cool name. Nene Dubs. and it's about the Great Awakening that I've been talking about. So they say, hello, Hogarth and friends. Could you please advise us how to prepare ourselves for the Great Awakening on March 29th, 2025? Should I avoid traveling on that day or for several days before or after? Yeah, thank you. So thanks for that question. So just to give a little context, we've all heard me talking about this. What am I talking about? When you include Chiron, there is an alignment of 8 planets in sidereal Pisces on the 29th of March 2025, which is only a few weeks away now. What does this mean? We have, who's there? We have Saturn moving in with Rahu, the north node of the moon, Neptune, Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde. Then we have the sun and the moon there and Chiron, and it will also be an eclipse. Yeah. It will also be an eclipse. And the reason why I've been talking about this is Saturn will be moving into sidereal Pisces. Of course, we know in Western tropical, Saturn is already there. But let's just say astronomically, mathematically, he moves in on the 29th of March. The reason why this is so important is because Saturn is the planet of government. Yeah, government, rules, regulations, all of this kind of stuff. Pisces is the sign of dissolving. Yeah, it's very spiritual, but it has a very dissolving quality. And Saturn is going to come up against Neptune, which is the god of the sea and the great dissolver. So as I've been looking at things unfold, because the energy of the Great Awakening is already building now. I mean, look, all of us are waking up. Yeah. I mean, we've already known about this, but we're talking about people that were, you know, balls deep into Trump, you know, really, you know, even they are starting to kind of be like, hang on, wait a minute. You know, when we had that shutdown of the government and all people's benefits were stopped, you know, now a lot of people are starting to wake up. So this energy is building and it's developing. So, but one of the things I'm concerned about is that, are we seeing the government effectively be dissolved? Is this part of what is actually happening? And now we know that Elon has got hold of the purse strings, quite literally. So there's many different things going on, but I just wanted to give that broader context. So you, Lena, how do you feel this energy of Great Awakening? How do you see that playing out from your instincts?
Well, we've got to remember that evolutions tend to be slow until they're not. So things percolate from underneath and then there's a change. Revolutions are not comfortable spaces, right? We romanticize the French Revolution or the American Revolution, but, you know, the Civil War, you know, people had their legs lopped off without anesthetic, and it gets made to be, you know, something to celebrate with a flag on the back of a truck, right? So I think it's really important for people to think about how to navigate big upheavals in their own life, and whether that's through family, neighborhood, friends, etc., or these communities, or if you do it, because it's going to get even more rugged and more extreme. So there's no point panicking per se about it. It's staying grounded, keep in touch, but we're in for a threat to democracy for sure.
Sheila, what are your thoughts on the Great Awakening? How do you see that manifesting from your intuition and what you're seeing in the world?
Well, ironically, I got out my my Archangel Power tarot cards, and this is the one which is perfect. This is the card that I got. He is coming out of the storm into the light. Where he's endured the storm. The boat is still intact. The dog is still on the boat. You know what I mean? Still has his wings, and you know he's risen above the storm. And the message underneath it is, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans. And ironically, I think that fits exactly with what it is. And like, yeah, things are not going to look the same after Trump is done. There's no doubt about it. We don't know what's going to be gone, what's going to be added. We don't know. The destruction is absolutely here. And we have no idea. But here's one saying that somebody used to tell me a lot all the time to help me calm down, because I'm one of those, exotic people. And they said, God makes good stuff out of the yucky stuff. If you believe in God or higher power or spirit or whatever, stuff out of the yucky stuff. And I think that card is pretty much telling us that, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Really is.
We had made a contract as light workers to be here now, all of us, including those watching. Yeah.
Lady G, how do you interpret the energy of awakening based on your intuition and what you've been seeing in the world?
Well, first out is the captain taking command and having teamwork. So that's so important right now that we have teamwork. We are in the midst of tower moment. Now, when the tower implodes, it brings enlightenment. It breaks down the ego. So the direction is to compassion, having the inspiration of the direction of compassion. And, a lot of people want to blame the Magatonians for voting, but a lot of them are losing their benefits. And now they're going to be in a real hurting situation. So we have to have compassion, not playing the blame game all the time. So when we're struggling with the energies, we have to create love. We need to come together and create love. It's about this expansion when it comes to this judgment, but it's about the connection, coming together in a connection, using the intuition when it comes to making changes, massive changes, and messages that we're going to be bringing out to others. And we are going forward, the chariot to freedom, and that will be our legacy in the end. So it's a time of massive change, and again, coming together and supporting one another as we go through this, rather than trying to play the blame game on everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody asked for the barb for this question too. I didn't know if you noticed that.
It's a bit tricky. But what are your thoughts, Hoagie, on this big question?
Yes, the big question. We can't do the bard on this one because the bard is effectively insult. So and it's we're not talking about like a specific individual. But thanks for reading that out. I think, for me personally, I think we're going through one of the most extraordinary transformations in time on planet Earth. I think we really are. And I know I've been going on about, you've heard me talk ad nauseum about this stuff, Pluto and Capricorn, and people get tired of me saying it and stuff like that. But
here we are.
Like, hello, like this is it. Like, this is it, guys. This is what this stuff means. And America, well, along with the world, but America, it cannot be overstated, the extraordinary transformation that is happening right now. We are in a time of extreme fate and destiny where so many questions are being asked. So never before has humanity or Americans faced so many questions at the same time. This really is unprecedented. And again, you can't even say it's once in a lifetime, because it's not, because Pluto takes 248 years to go around the sun. So we're talking several generations. This is like 7, 8, 9 generations of people. So for us to be alive at this particular time, in this particular juncture, is quite extraordinary. And we're going to see a lot of things. So here, I just pulled some cards just to help elaborate on that. Look, this is what we're seeing right now, the discord, the disagreement. We're in the state where the ordinary people can see what's going on, but the legacies media still can't seem to make up its mind what to say. It should be just called out universally for Trump to be impeached. This is what should be happening. He needs to be impeached, yeah? And we're just saying it here, even though it's for entertainment purposes only, to protect ourselves. Here, we've got the Hanged Man, which can be a card of not moving that much energy, but really this is about a change in perspective, isn't it? The Hanged Man is forced to see things differently, and I think this is what's emerging now. And then here, this is talking about, you know, the electorate, our sense of security. Everything that we understood America to be is currently being challenged right now because, you know, for us, especially me in the UK and us in Europe and in Canada, we are really flummoxed by this. We've never seen an ally behave like this before. This is really unprecedented. It's in a way, it's even more extraordinary than the Declaration of Independence, because that was very clearly understood. That was about taxes and tariffs. This is about an ally that's having the equivalent of, you know, a mental breakdown. Do you know what I mean? And it's causing literally heartbreak for the whole world. So we have to see what happens. But I think, for me, I truly believe those that believe in democracy and the Democrats and anyone who's listening out there, anyone who's got a platform of real power, this isn't a joke. You have to act quickly. There's only a matter of weeks, and this is really serious. You know, all of these pundits, and they stand there politely asking Trump as he comes out with his bullshit, and they just need to be saying, you are crazy. You need to be impeached. So I think the important thing is that everyone has to come together. Everyone needs to start ringing up their senators, anyone of influence, holding council meetings. Something we spoke about last week. No buy Mondays, every Monday, and don't buy from those big tech billionaires and stuff like that. It might be something small, but if enough people do it, it will make an effect. And just for people to realize, you know, this is real. It's really happening. It's not pretend. And we see the intentions there. So that's my thing. Everyone has to come together.
Yes. And hopefully this is the upside of the horror, right? But in the meantime, until Congress gets its act together, we're all diverted by the tap dancing clown. He could be impeached with evidence in 10 days' time, but they're not going to impeach him like they didn't before. It's not until those individual, we don't need a lot of them, 3 or 4, just pick off 3 or 4 Congress people from the other side who think this is too much, and that would give them muscle and provide some resistance too. You know, the votes are coming down to 1 vote. So if you're in a red state, lobby them and just say, I've been a Republican all my life and I'm horrified by what's happening. Bit of theatre, bit of guerrilla theatre. Tell them as a Republican, you're shocked.
You think it would be wise to do a good look and see if the Republicans are going to hold him accountable? Because I did a remote view a long time ago that Trump was a piñata, and I looked at who was swinging at him, and it was his own people that was taking him down.
It will get there.
I think so, because what he's doing is so damaging. I mean, everyone loses.
Everyone.
They're saying with the tariffs against Canada, they're saying it could effectively halt the automotive industry. Same with Mexico, because you need both
parts
countries
from both places. 1, 2, 3. Because NAFTA, I still call it NAFTA because you obviously go for your neighbours first when you're looking for trade deals. Back in the day, geography matters, and so you're disrupting your own. Trade. It's insanity.
He literally said when he was doing the tariffs, I hope everybody understands. He knows what's coming. He knows that people are going to be, lives are going to be hard. And the only thing he can offer for comfort is I hope everybody understands.
But even that's movement, because 2 weeks ago it was, you're going to get all the money from the tariffs. We're going to be rich. We won't have to have federal taxes. So even that is movement.
Yep. He knows.
And it's from his little fettered lips. There's going to be pain.
Once people start losing money, hand over fist, you will see the change, because like we were saying last week, money is the only thing these people pay attention to.
Sadly, yes.
Once they start losing money hand over fist, and it's coming in from all directions, and you've got these big barons of industry that are going out of business because no one can afford to buy cars that are now 25% more expensive. They can't get the chips. And China has basically done an embargo on precious earth metals to America. That means all of that innovation and stuff, it means all the tech bros who need their semiconductors, that's all going to vanish. And by the way, China's just come up with DeepSeek for a fraction of the cost, by the way, which is also exploding that whole business model. I think
which I predicted 5 years ago. I said China's going to leap over Tesla and laugh all the way.
Well, here's another thought: is with Trump doing these tariffs, he only gives our other countries the ability to gain and to get more money and stuff like that, because the tariffs coming into here, there's going to be huge problems. But outsourcing, like if I was a small country, I'd be like tapping on Canada. I'm like, hey,
you better believe it. And the BRIC country, yeah.
Any other
Can we just talk about coffee before we go?
Yes.
Given that the world, let's face it, runs on coffee, and if I was cut off from my supply, I would lose the will to live.
Yeah.
Because of these tariffs on Colombia, I just want to point out that Hawaii makes fantastic coffee, the coffee beans. So please get together again, neighborhoods, families, friends, apartment buildings, buy in bulk from Hawaii if you have to, and that supports the Hawaiian economy.
Yeah, the Hawaiians. I just want to say some quick thank yous, and then we do have to close because we've gone quite over, but understandable given the context. So I want to say thank you, Jilly. Thank you so much. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Mila. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Chio. I hope I've said that right.
Great name.
Mariana, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, there's more here. Josie, thank you so much. Iris, thank you so much. And Sylvia, my goodness, thank you so much. So God bless you. Thank you all for you do to create peace in this crazy storm. So yes, we have to call it a day there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. It was over 2,750 of you that joined us live. So much, much appreciated. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to support this channel. And of course, the donations are shared with the ladies, which I did, I think, last night. Did you check your PayPal?
Yes, thank you.
Holy
it's all there. So we're gonna leave it there, folks. These are extraordinary times. It is part of this great awakening. Sadly, great awakenings aren't always pleasant, but this is a journey. And by the end of this, we don't even have to wait that long. Even the MAGAs, there'll still be the absolute bonkers 10% that will still be there, the rusted on, as Lena says. But even they're waking up now. And in a few more weeks, even more people will be awake. So
the leopard ate my face is so across everything. I love that expression.
And and hopefully all of those families, those church going families who have 10 to 12 children and they have to feed them, through the winter. I don't know. It's going to be.
Yeah, we'll see. But just like Lady G was saying as well, we can't. There is that Schadenfreude, but everyone is suffering as well, because I really feel bad for people that didn't vote for any of this, and everyone is in the same boat. But let's just hope that they wake up sooner rather than later, so that they get enlightenment. Yeah, I know. People asking.
We'll bring back the bard next week. Yeah,
next week. Yeah, next week. Because guys, it has to be individuals. We're talking about a political situation here, which an insult's not really going to help on that one. But anyway, we will leave that there. So guys, we will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for
watching.
watching.
Bye for now. All right. Bye bye.